All right, guys, so with news being a little bit slow today, right? Just a tad bit slow. I decided that, you know what? I've done a lot of highlighting of the more insane takes that are being put out there from people in regards to this Will Smith, Chris Rock situation that happened at the Oscars just a few nights ago, because there has been some pretty insane takes on this stuff, right? There are people out there that are actually trying to defend Will Smith, right? It's pretty bad that people stood up and applauded after Will Smith assaulted a man on national TV. But then you also have people coming out here trying to justify because he was defending a woman, okay, a black woman. And you have people coming out here saying that white people shouldn't speak on it. All types of crazy stuff. In fact, there was a shock poll that came out that showed that most Americans actually blame Chris Rock for what happened in that situation instead of Will Smith, okay? And I think this is a prime example of the simplification, right? S-I-M-P, simplification, right? That's a new word. I'm coining that. Somebody else has used it. You know it came from me. The simplification of America. This is what this is an example of, okay? Because that's the only explanation for this, right? We have a country full of simps, and this is coming from somebody who admittedly has been guilty of simping, right? But we all learn our lessons in life, okay? That's what life is about. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we talk about some more sane takes, right? Like some real lessons to take away from what happened and the consequences that Will Smith might face behind a woman, right? Because that's basically what it is. A woman put him in a situation where he could potentially lose his career, and he has permanently damaged his reputation because of her, right? In my opinion, he let his emotions get the best of him. So without further ado, we're gonna play some clips of some people like Steve Harvey and Jim Carrey and Shannon Sharpe and their takes on this situation, as I think they have some of the best takes that I've seen regarding this whole thing. Take a look.
What did you think as you watched it unfold, and then what happened after?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that. I just thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated, and I wish him the best. I really do. I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. You know, a lot of people worked really hard to get to that place and to have their moment in the sun and to get their award for the really hard work they did. And it is no mean feat to go through all the stuff you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. It's a gauntlet of devotion that you have to do. And you know, it was just a selfish moment that cast a pall over the whole thing.
Here's the thing of it. I understand that defending the honor of your wife. I'm that dude. But you don't have to do something. He didn't dishonor her. For that. He didn't do that. That joke was not worthy of the reaction. If he was going to have a reaction, I think that Will should have done the man thing, was step to him afterwards in that press room. And if he wanted to slap Chris then, he could have slapped Chris in the press room and seen how it went. But see, Will laughed. But see, he laughed at the joke till he saw Jada's reaction. Yeah. Now, let me tell you something. That's a Hollywood move now. to go up there on national TV, slap another black man, turn around your back and walk off because you know he can't do nothing. See, and I know this. I know he know this because Will been in Hollywood long enough. So now to turn your back and walk off, you're going to slap the dude and then turn around and walk off. You know in real life that ain't the way this going to go. You already know. And Rock is a Jersey boy. So no. So, and I didn't think the moment was that. And I think he overreacted, like Carla said. He paid too much into the moment. His acceptance speech, that was raggedy, apologizing to the Academy. But here's what I think is going to happen. When this go down and wake up the right way, there's going to be some type of banning from the Oscars of Will Smith.
Yeah.
Because look, they took Kanye off the Grammys. They took him off the Grammys. The Oscars is all Hollywood is about. It's their biggest moment. And for you to do that on the biggest moment,
they don't condone violence. They don't. The Academy does not condone violence.
Denzel told him right.
Yeah.
In your biggest moment is when the devil comes for you.
Yeah.
You should have handled that
Back though.
Yeah, he said in his acceptance speech that Denzel told him that at your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes.
I'm the devil. If I'm Chris Rock, I'm the devil that's coming for him. I'm coming up out that Purple Tom Ford, or Brioni, or a Caesar Antolini. I don't know who that was, but I'm coming up out of that. I'm coming up out of these clothes, but I don't care nothing about that. Man, you can't do that to somebody, Skip. So now comedians, can they not say anything or worried about people coming up on stage? So don't go, listen, if you're sensitive, don't you take your ass to no comedy show, because these are comedians and they make light of situations. So if you go down there and you got on some bull jive, they're going to make fun of you. If you look like some bull jive, they're going to make fun of you. Chris Rock should have thought about. I say the joke. The person that I say the joke about, her husband, so now I already feel tension. I feel confrontation, or I'm getting off the first one, because the moment I feel confrontation, I got to end it. I'm not finna let you walk up on me like that. We argue, Skip. We going back and forth. You across the room, and here you come walking towards me. What I think? You coming to offer me a drink? What he should have done is what DC Young Fly did last year when somebody came up on the stage and whipped him. He's protecting his wife. Well, where was her protection of a man when she was at the red table talking about what she was doing with this entanglement? Where was her protection of her husband? He a bigger man than me. I ain't that big a man. Ain't a road high enough for me to take.
Yeah, so I think all of those takes are some of the best takes that I have seen, okay, on this situation, right? And apparently the Oscars is considering punishing Will Smith, okay, for this. They might, ban him or whatever, right? Whatever they do to celebrities when they get in trouble, right? Because allegedly they asked him to leave after that, and he just refused to leave. I mean, it just goes to show you how big of an ego some of these people have. But I think the real takeaway here that a lot of people are not talking about is how a woman, right, his wife, drove Will Smith to do something that was not logical, to act out of emotion, because at first, Will Smith laughed at the joke, right? He thought it was funny. But then when he saw Jada Pickett's face, right, and the way that she was rolling her eyes and the fact that she didn't like it, that caused him to act in a way that he should not have acted. And I feel like as a man, men go through this all the time. A lot of men fall prey and victim to a woman's emotions, because at the end of the day, as a man, you have to always be thinking logically. You got to understand that I'm not trying to generalize here, but I am kind of generalizing here. Women, sometimes they don't think like that, right? They're not always thinking logically and long-term about things. They're not always thinking about the consequences. They're always thinking about that moment and what they want in that moment, right? Because a lot of times what they want is about them and it's self-centered. But as a man, you have to take a step back and not think that way, okay? Hey, I understand his wife was upset and that caused him to react, but in that situation, you can't react to that. You have to wait until the appropriate moment to address the situation the way it should be addressed, which, preferably is a man-to-man conversation about the joke. Even though I think that you shouldn't really be all that offended about jokes. It's just a joke, but still, right? This is something a lot of people go through. I went through it, right? I've been emotionally manipulated by women to do things that don't make sense. That's not good for me long-term. It's not good for me emotionally. It's not good for me physically. It's not good for me financially. I've been manipulated by women, right, to do stuff like that, okay? And that's a conversation that I don't think enough people are having about what happened and how you witnessed a woman manipulate a man into basically losing his career. Because that's what can happen to Will Smith. Who knows if anybody's gonna be willing to cast Will Smith in any type of movie anymore, right? Or whether or not he'll be able to attend one of these award ceremonies or, you know, get any type of endorsements or anything like that. He may have cost himself his reputation and his income, right? All behind chasing the emotions of a woman, reacting to the emotions of his wife, okay? And in that situation, he should have controlled himself and not given in to the emotions of trying to defend his wife in that moment. Because, I mean, it's not like she was getting beat up, right? It's one thing if she get beat up, she's been physically assaulted. That's one thing. But we're talking about jokes here, right? Jokes, okay? Something that is verbal, right? Something that's not hurting somebody physically, okay? And he took it to a whole nother level. He shouldn't have took it because he reacted emotionally in the situation. He wasn't thinking logically. And again, men, you know, they lose their lives behind this stuff. They lose their lives behind women and always acting at the whims of what women want, right? All the time, okay? And I think people got to understand and take a step back and realize that, hey, a lot of times that stuff is not logical, right? It's not the way you should actually be thinking about stuff. You got to think about the real life consequences of what you do before you do it. So I think ultimately as this drama kind of dies down, the takeaway here is that, you know, as a man, be very, very careful about how you react to a woman's emotions and letting them manipulate you into doing things that you otherwise know that you shouldn't do logically, or that's not good for you or beneficial long term, right? And I think Will Smith was a victim of falling in that trap that a whole lot of men fall in, and now his career is possibly over because of that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.